Hello everyone, Ryan here. So for the next indie game I wanted to look at, I felt like a bit of a horror motif, despite it being November. Oh well. I tried stuff like Outlast and such, games like you can't attack people, but they just don't do it for me. I genuinely like fighting the enemies. Which is why I'm surprised that I liked Inmost, a 2D puzzle platformer by Hidden Layer Games, and was published by Chucklefish. Now, while this game doesn't hold much in a horror sense, sadly, it does have a creepy atmosphere, credible pixel art and effects, great animation, and a compelling narrative. Now, heads up, I consider pretty much everything I say to be a spoiler, so you have been warned. The game is split into 3 gameplay styles. A young girl exploring a creepy house, trying to find out the secrets of its owner, a wanderer who's searching for answers to a world he is in, and finally a knight who's serving a dark master to feed an item called the Soul Flower. And surprisingly, they all have pretty different playstyles from each other. The one that I consider the main style is the Wanderer, as his gameplay is probably the most fleshed out of the 3. It's a puzzle platformer with all the trappings, with a very light Metroidvania thrown into the fray. You work out puzzles to advance in the world, collect traversal items, and defeat these black goo monsters that can kill you in one shot. Fortunately, if you die, the loading is extremely quick and you can get directly back into the game straight away. You can also collect items such as small shards that you can give to a weird dude who tells you a little bit about the world, and there's also these small page things that just show you random items. As you progress in this world, you eventually hit points that loads up the other character levels that you need to beat to continue. The second character, the girl, you are trapped inside a house that you have to explore to find out more about the owners, as I said before. The girl's moves are drastically hindered compared to the Wanderer, mainly because she's a young girl. Even her height is an obstacle in her exploration. Also, to contrast, the girl's level is in our world, which is different from the other characters. Finally, the knight. His gameplay is the most different as it's a basic hack and slash. Yeah, you actually fight slimes with a sword. Combat is rather simple, but it is very satisfying. Instead of jumping, you use a grapple hook to move about the level, which is also unique to this character. Now that's all that's left to talk about is the story. Now I have to put a spoiler warning up earlier, but I do recommend you skip this part of the video if you have any interest in playing this game, as I believe a blind way is the best way to experience this game. So, spoiler warning again, you have been warned. You see, the story is mainly shown throughout the girl's gameplay, with the other 2 hinting at stuff. You see the girl and their stuffed rabbit toy, which is also a companion. They believe that the house owners have kidnapped children and put them into the attic. Now, throughout the game, I never understood why the girl referred to the adults by he and she instead of mom and dad. I assumed that they were her parents, or at least the dad was a stepfather due to how she sees him. You see, the mother abuses the girl quite a bit, but she's also more prominent than the dad, so I assume the girl is either an unwanted child, or the father has been trying to convince the mom to ditch her. I know the last one seems a bit of a stretch, but trust me, I've seen that happen in real life. Eventually, the mother hits a breaking point and runs away, finally giving us full run of the house. We make to the attic to find a chimney, but no fireplace. We break into the chimney and find a child's room. The girl comes to the realization that she was kidnapped. As soon as this happens, the father returns home, hugs the child, showing her some love. We learn that he's the knight. The knight has been collecting love to feed his grief, and when he tries to leave, that grief ends up beating him up. It's the master he serves. Eventually he returns to the soul flower he stole, and learn that he needs to feed the flower love to grow, not pain. And the twist is that the girl is the flower he was trying to grow. And thanks to realising he needed love, he finally succeeds. He reveals to the girl that her parents died in a fire and that he saved her. Sadly, this is short-lived and he is attacked by a giant snake, or as it's truly revealed in the real world, the mother, and unfortunately dies in the process. So how does the Wanderer's journey fit with this? You see, in the game he is trying to return a key to a child who lost it at the bottom of a well. Eventually this leads us to the top of a tower, trying to break down the door as the child jumps to her death. The Wanderer is swallowed by grief, but unlike the knight, he fights back. Eventually we return to the real world with the Wanderer to see him receive a phone call which makes him run out of his apartment. The Wanderer finds the corpse of the knight, who he then grieves over. It turns out the knight is his son, and that the call he received was from the mother telling him she's going to kill everyone. Or that's what I'm guessing, I'm not 100% sure. The The Wanderer arrives at the house to find that the mother has died as well, but the girl is nowhere to be seen. After finding a note the knight gave her earlier, he runs out the house to a burnt down building that the girl's parents died in, and where the knight originally found her. It's revealed that the girl who the Wanderer tried to save earlier was his granddaughter. It's why the mother went crazy in the first place. She could not accept the new girl as her daughter and went insane. She believed that they all should join her original daughter. As the girl reached the balcony, the Wanderer is banging on the door like he did with his granddaughter, but this time he actually manages to save her. We then end with the Wanderer as an old man sitting in front of 3 graves, meeting up with his adoptive daughter, the girl you had saved. Well, that's quite the narrative. It's a story about pain but ends at a slightly positive point. If you give in to your grief, it will consume you and destroy you. But if you accept the help and love of others, you will pull through. In the end, as a game, I think it's pretty good. It's got a good narrative and gameplay. Definite recommendation. Okay, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.